right, and welcome to a Monday edition of Football Friday. Zach, by the way, is on assignment tonight, shooting games tonight. So Paul Heinert joins me in the studio.
Well, it's great to be here, Mark, for round 2 of the playoffs. Tonight's show is brought to you by Paul's Place in Canton, a fine establishment. And we start our coverage in my neck of the woods.
Absolutely. Winter, not far from where you grew up at White River. And the Warriors have been on a roll all season. Not only has Dan Akers' team gone unbeaten, they have pretty much gone unscored upon for the entire season. Tonight, the Mustangs of TriValley came to Frank Leahy Field. Drew Demers dropping back and finding Caleb Brosick down the field for a 20-yard gain. That would set up this. Jaden Schrader, he plunges into the end zone, and it's 7-0 in favor of Winter, and they're just getting started. Later in the first, it's going to be Cameron Kyle. He's going to take the pitch, makes a couple of guys miss. He cuts back, and he is gone down the sidelines. That's 58 yards for a touchdown. It is now 16-0 in favor of Winter. Third quarter, Riley Calhoun gets the pitch, takes it 20 yards for the score. We talked about the heavy hearts they're playing with. They're still playing incredible football. Your final 40-0. I think they've given up 2 touchdowns all year. I'll get a check on that.
It hasn't been much. Well, a team's still getting used to playing with 11 guys on the field. As Bridgewater, Emery Ethan. Tonight the Seahawks hosted the Cossacks of Sioux Valley. That is a safety for Sioux Valley. 2-0 your score. It would stay that way for a long time. They were looking to add to their lead, but Colton Plagman with the one-handed interception. Great play for the Seahawks. Move to the late fourth quarter. It's still 2-0. One final push for the Seahawks. That is Jamin Arend with the big gain. Longest play from scrimmage of the entire game. Under a minute to play. Cole Gassman plows into the end zone for the game-winning touchdown. I stayed till the end.
Yes,
your final is 6-2.
Kudos to you. That was pretty good. Hey, you know what that stands for. Run Collie. Terry Dosh's Cavaliers always in the mix. Tonight, they hosted Red Cloud. That's Gabe Torbert busting up the middle to make it 19-6. Terry Dosh, one of the finest coaches we've had ever in the history of South Dakota. They're good again this year. Braden Summers tricked out Zach on this one. He's going to, off the reverse, get the ball back and take it in for a touchdown. It's 26-6 Cavaliers. Now, Red Cloud tries to throw. Eric Holzer with a diving pick. That sets up a short touchdown run, makes it 33-6. And then it's going to be Summers passing through one set of hands into Colton Cox's hands, and he weaves his way 40 yards for the score, 41-6 after 1.
Tossing
Your
candy.
game was 2-0 late in the game.
Yeah,
here's another Summers to Cox touchdown. Your final 68-16.
Wow.
Roncalli rolls. Winner again, 40-0. Groton area 55 zip, and you saw that Bridgewater Emery Ethan highlight 6-2. You got a lot of highlights out of a 6-2 game, by the way. On to Class 9AA, which is loaded with tons of talented team like top-ranked Gregory, the Gorillas, hosting ClarkWillow Lake tonight. There's Jade Vanderwerf getting the ball toward the sideline, and he is gone 33 yards. It's 8-0. Then Robert Vamaka gets the ball off that fumble, and the Gorillas are back in business again. Love those uniforms, too. Look like the Georgia Bulldogs. It's going to be Gregory's Andy McCants dropping back, finding Jade Vanderwerf on the sideline. That's a 20-yard gainer, and that's going to set up McCants, who's going to sneak it in. And they didn't exactly sneak past their opponent in this one. Your final 52-0.
Well, how about this matchup in Baltic between two high-powered offenses? We'll pick it up in the third quarter. Titans driving for the lead, but a high snap puts the ball on the ground. Shaden Regal falls on it for the Bulldogs. That would lead to this short touchdown run by Bo Teveldal. Baltic leads 32-22. Bulldogs looking to pad the lead. Reese Warren rolls out, hits Michael Clark for the touchdown. How about that?
That was
nice long touchdown. You got the superheroes. They're doing some jumping jacks in the stands. MVP, though, they would not go away quietly. This is Devin Rahanic breaking off the long touchdown run. The Bulldogs, just too much tonight. They win 52-34.
All right, on to one of the top games of the night in Webster. Actually, they moved the game to Waubay. that's where the Bearcats hosted Canistota, and that's why I say 9AA has the most title contenders in the state by far. So that's where Zach Borg was for our game of the night, and he has this recap.
Few teams in nine-man football have been scarier than the Canistota Hawks, the 9A champs a year ago, moving up to 9AA. Tonight they face another team that's pretty fearsome, the Webster Bearcats. The game being played in Waubay due to bad field conditions in Webster, and there was nothing wrong with Hunter Gaikowski. He'd been out since the 3rd week of the season with a broken collarbone, but he helps the Bearcats draw first blood in the first. It's 8-0. Final seconds of the period, James Strang's offense springs to life thanks to Tristan Pierce. He rips off a big gainer right as the period comes to a close. Hawks take advantage in the second. Austin Thu runs it in. That ties it up at 8-all after the 2-point conversion. Tanner Christensen's Bearcats answer. Kelby Hawkins stopped at first, but keeps moving, and on second effort scores to make it 14-8. Game turns a bit on the next Canistota drive. Scott Jolly rolling, floats it up, and Riley Reitz picks it off, returns it deep into Hawk territory. A few plays later, Gaikowski runs over a pair of Hawks and scores to make it 20-8 at the break. It stayed that way into the fourth, but Canistota makes it interesting. With 4:47 left, Thu into the end zone for a touchdown. That makes it 20-16. Who else but Gaikowski to put it away? 32 yards as Webster advances with a 28-16 win.
We just used last year's 3rd-round loss to Woolsey as our motivation. Just keep pounding and never stop.
The Bearcats advance to the 9AA semifinals, where they will take on another undefeated team, Baltic. The question now, whether or not they're going to have to play here at Waubay again, or if they can go back to their home field in Webster. From Waubay, Zach Borg, KDLT Sports.
Out again, your finals from 9AA. Webster 28-16. Gregory 52-0. They've had the same kind of dominant year that Winter has. Baltic's been scoring tons of points. They're undefeated. And look at this one.
Buffs.
Maybe the game of the night. Stanley County outdoing Wolsey Westonton 35-28. Yikes. What a tremendous game that was.
All right, on to Class 9A, where Coleman Egan roared into the playoffs with just that 1-point loss to Chase Corton's Bonham Cavaliers. We'll pick it up in the first quarter. Bodie Gross airs it out for Cade Gross for the early strike. Great touchdown pass there. Later in the first, Bodie, hey, he can run it too. He goes in for the short touchdown run here. Coleman Egan looking good early. How about some defense? Malik Poppinga forces the fumble. Alec Landis falls on it. Babies love turnovers. That's a given. Everyone knows this. That would lead to this touchdown run by Keith Crittenden. Hawks win big. They look good.
Yeah. 58-0 was your final score.
Really good.
Warner 38-0. Some big time wins there. Potter County 52-24 and Sully Buttes 51-6. And finally, another fun matchup happened in Class 9B when Hamlin traveled to Colome. Second quarter, Hamlin back to punt. The snap is bad, and Will Cahoy pounces on it at the, there he is, at the 3-yard line. He finally gets dragged down before going in for a touchdown, but then Leighton Thiemann is going to drop back and find Nate Crumpus with a nice catch in the end zone. It is 16-0 Cowboys at this point. Later on in the second, it's going to be Thiemann again dropping back, rolling out, and finding Jackson Kinzer in the end zone. That's 6 more points, and Colome rolls into the semifinals with a 38-8 win. Corsica Stickney edging Oldham Ramona Rutland 29-26. Harding County wins by 20 in Langford with Lincoln Gibbs back 58-20 there. So there's your quarterfinal night in 4 classes tonight. Semifinals in the big classes Friday night, and these guys play again on Saturday. We'll be right back.